What is up, tribe? I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, night, morning, evening, whatever you got going on today. Today's a little bit of a different episode, and I just wanted to let you guys know what was up. So, if you've been following last week, I didn't release an episode and things like that. And I've been working on myself, to be honest with you. I've been experiencing so many changes in my life where it's it's different when you have change in one area, but I was having and still experiencing changes in all of my areas. And they're not bad changes. They're all good. Um, I've just been working on figuring it out, but the difference is that I have not been doing it alone. And that has been a huge, I would say, what's the word I'm looking for? Not a graduation. That's been a huge graduation for me as a person who's used has been used to being solo. I've been having to learn how to work with people. And it's not in the sense of like, oh, you don't know how to work with people. It's more in the sense of learning how to work with people in areas that I'm not comfortable with and in positions where I am asking for help versus people just coming to me and then I tell them something and then they go and, keep it simple. And there's just been a lot of changes with that, but it's been really good. And I just want to give you guys just like an update because I feel as though you'll get something out of it too. Or who knows, you may be experiencing this now or whenever you do listen to this episode. So, one of the things lately, and it's a very interesting subject with me. There's been a lot of conflictions with it, but the first point that I want to cover into this is that I've been rebuilding like my faith with the source, right? Some of you may call it the creator, you may say God, you may say whatever it is, but for me, it's just been like that source. And for the longest time, that relationship with that source has been very on and off due to my experiences kind of growing up with church things, how other people blindly would follow something that they couldn't see or understand. And it was just a lot of misinformation and a lot of negative experiences mixed with uncertainty that I had with this source, so to speak. And I think a lot of us have somewhat of conflictions in a period of time when we're connecting with that source. You call it what you want to. And I've, like I said, with all these changes, it's been revolving in me getting, like, one of the things I've gained from these changes is getting that faith back. And I've been, just for like these past 2 days, I've been going out to like this, it's the square. It's like uh, it's a place near where we moved. And I go there and I sit on a bench and it's kind of like I have conversations with this source. And, we just sit there and talk. And one of the things that this source was telling me was that you have a lot of faith in, your ability to do things. You have faith in, the beings that you work with and things like that. However, your faith in yourself in certain areas you don't really have. But that isn't necessarily like something that I need to tackle on my own. And how the source was explaining it to me was that I can, like, with the things that I'm doing and the people that I'm connecting with, the entities that I'm connecting with, that's good. I've been doing that for a good amount of time and I've been doing it excellently. But the source was just like, you basically, to put it in regular words, is like, you're there for you've been doing excellently working with these people here, there, everywhere, these entities here, there, everywhere. But what you need is for me to help you. And it was just in that sense of like, there are things that I'm gonna be honest with you guys. There are things that I'm not confident in, or I have very little, if little to no faith in certain things that I may do. And I've been used to running off of my own energy, used to, again, that goes with the being solo thing. But how the source was just describing it to me was just like that being in my corner to help me connect and see things that I don't see, or help me in areas that I need help in that I either don't know, or it just wasn't made aware, or I do know, but not other people can kind of help me in that. And it just been put in a position where it was just like, again, building that faith in that sort of relationship with that source. And it has been really good. I find it motivating. I find it fulfilling. I find it having help in areas that it's I find it just it's so hard to put into words, but I'm gonna just go with fulfilling. And I even just had conversations with just a lot of things, and there's been a lot of signs as well. And I'm gonna get into some of the things that was mentioned to that, but that was like a big point that I wanted to cover. And so in this time of change, like last week, I needed some time to just reflect on Connect Seven as a whole. And I really needed to just see what I'm doing, where I'm going with everything, and all types of just it's just everything as a whole. And I realized like one thing was with the podcast. As you know, I want to say maybe a few weeks ago, I was just like, let's do 2 episodes a week. And towards like my goal was just like building like the brand of Connect Seven Up. And I learned that it was just like I was doing that running off of wanting to achieve this goal. And I thought that avenue would be best. And in reflecting, it's kind of like, I'm I'm going back to the days when I first began that I was doing this. And a part of me wanted that back of when I was doing it, 2 episodes a week. I had the time and it was fun. And I was trying to get that back now. And I'm realizing that, changes can be made. Like I can do 1 episode a week. But for me, it's like, if I feel like I want to up the quality, I can do that. And so it's just like upping, like never going back on the quality, but upping that quality and understanding that I don't have to overdo it. A part of it could be just growing up in America that you feel like you have to overdo things or you have to really make shit work. And in this time of reflection, it's been like, yeah, no, like do one for now. And again, just work on that quality. Another thing of working like with my team of entities that I work with, speak with, connect to, they've been saying like, let's focus more back on the business end of things. And I realized that when I first started this, um, believe it or not, when I first began Connect Seven, it was the goal was to help people connect, and in time that has changed. Um, when and believe it or not, when I was starting Connect Seven, I was like, that's the name, da 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 da. And then it was just hearing how people were just like, you gotta make sure the name is protected because if you build this and then later on the name is it was like that. So I kind of made a business out of fear to want to kind of keep the name and go. And it was just like I learned that wasn't the best, thing to do, but it's caused so many like lessons of growing and things like that. And it made me realize again in these reflections of like, it may have started off as like a fear, but it has evolved and grown to something much more. And I realized that I put so much energy into the podcast part that there was things about the business that I had to learn, and there's things I still have to learn. And it's just been getting back to the business side. And, one of the entities that I speak with, she was just like, if it's a business, there needs to be some sort of product. There needs to be something, that basically y'all know a product from y'all get that. And I was just like, okay. And I'm saying this to you guys now. The biggest struggle in these changes have been figuring out what that product is. And my cousin has said it to me. My partner has said it to me. And this is something that I'm still trying to embody today. But they were just like, when you think of Connect 7, it's you. Like, you're the face, you're the person. People connect with you. And then I was talking to my partner about it, and she was like, yeah, like, you're the product, really. And so she was like, you have a life coaching certification, like, you have all these things, but, you're the product. And I was just like, I get that, but I don't know how to like incorporate the things that I can do, because I'm good at connecting with people, but I don't want to be boxed in a spiritual category, or that he's just a life coach in this, or I'm good at that. Because a lot of people come to me for a lot of different things, and I know it's my energy, it's my advice, it's how I connect, how I listen. I'm like, there's a lot of things that I'm really good at, but I'm trying to incorporate that. And I was like, I would say maybe I was talking with her, I was like, I think maybe it's like in the education route that I'd want to do, or it's something that needs to evolve with me, because I was just like, each season of the podcast, each season has been different, and it has evolved with me as a person. So I was like, I need some type of product that evolves with me. And as she was saying, like, you're that product. And it's like, well, if that's the case, and me being the product, then I'm evolving. And it's been a bit of a journey, because I won't say a struggle. It's been a bit of a journey to figure out what I would create, or of service to, for others. Hell, I've had people suggest some things, but it's again, it's just really kind of embodying, okay, you're the product, you're this, and coming up again, like, with what type of services. So I've had ideas again from my partner and from others of like, hey, like, do a service where it's consulting, or, there's people who are just getting into spiritual stuff, or who are getting into magic stuff, like, creating a service where they can connect with you and ask you questions, and you can help them. Like she said, you have the life coaching certification and stuff like that. So, you can help people, just because like, you see things that most people don't, and you feel things that most people don't. So it's just like, in that sense, it's just like utilizing those gifts and making them available to help other people. And so that's been a thing of like where I've been reflecting on, of like Connect 7 as a whole. And so looking at all of that, it just caused me to kind of, I wouldn't say slow down, but it's caused me to figure things out, and figure things out in my life as well. Um, like I said, when I was going back to one episode a week, I'm realizing that I have a habit that I'm working through of like doing too much, where I get really excited and I'm all about the action and doing it, but then things change later on down the line. I evolve and I learn like, hey, the reason why you did that was because of this goal that you're trying to make happen. And that's not really the case. And speaking with like that source, earlier today, I went for a walk. I was like, let's go, go back to the park. We're going to talk with the source and just chill. I had to put my headphones in because people are going to be like, this man talking to himself. I'm really not, but I had to put it in so people didn't interrupt the conversation. But in that conversation with, the source, it was just like, you one thing about you, you're really aware of what works for you, what doesn't work for you. You're really good at sensing things. And I've had some certain thoughts that I just wouldn't give energy to, but it's just like it's happening for a reason. Um, and I've had this thought of like, I want to do things, but I'm like, I like that when I see these creators or content creators or big businesses, they just have a name about them. Like when they post something or say something, it gets a lot of attention. And I was like, I like that aspect. And, that source was just saying to me, like, yes, you do, but you feel as though you don't want to do anything like on a big scale like that. Not to say like I don't want to be big, but it's just like you like private. You like, building like it could be a private network or just you like that vibe of things. And I was just like, yeah, you're right. And that conversation came up because there's this creator, really cool dude. I love him. He's on TikTok. His name is the Vanta Lord. So VANTA, sorry, VANTA, the Vanta Lord. And he just creates just like very interesting content. So I just seen his video today, and I believe he was gone for 2 years. And my God, 2 years went by like that. But I haven't seen him in a minute. And, and I remember I'm like, damn, I haven't seen his videos in a while. But okay. He just popped up on my TikTok feed, and he was just saying how he he was gone for 2 years because he got big, and like his content and stuff was growing, and there was a lot of companies and stuff wanting to do things with him, and basically his health started going down and it declined. He ended up in a hospital. um I can't tell his whole story because I wasn't there, but from what I remember off the video, like basically, the companies really didn't seem to care about him because they're like, the numbers aren't there, and they were only focused on the numbers. And he was just like, he had to take time to get better. Something happened in a hospital where he was like, he needed to make a change, this, that, and the other. And so he's back, and he was like, he'll get back once his health is there, and he's good. And I've seen a couple of creators where they get kind of like big, and then there's these things that happen to like their health, and they have to come back. And I've always like felt like, yes, I want to have, like, I'm like, I like that, and I was always focused on that. Like, I like this aspect. And the creator was just saying to me, the creator source, I always interchange, but the creator was just like, you like that, yes, but the price of that you're not willing to pay, and better. Like, that's not something that you want to even pay. And I was just like, yeah, you're right. And that's when I said, I've been feeling as though like there's these things that I want and I like, and when I try to build towards them, I was like, I just feel like I'm being protected from these things. And the source was just like, yeah, you're absolutely right. And I was just like, okay. I just never wanted to have that thought out loud, but I was just like, okay, that's confirmation on things. And I say all of that to say, one of my biggest, I've never said this. I don't think I've ever said it this clearly before out loud or on my platform. But one of the biggest challenges, struggles, issues, you name it, I've had to deal with in my life. One of the absolute hardest things, and I'm working on figuring that out. And I believe building my faith in that connection back up, with the source, is gonna get me there, get me the answers that I'm seeking. But I would create things, or I would do things, and I just go by it. I'm like, okay, I feel led to do it, and I do it, and it's just like I'm creating without a direction. I just feel it, or I'm inspired, and I do it. And I would just get, and now mind you, let me say this: I get this inspiration in a lot of different areas, And it's just like, okay, this area is here, this area is here. It's like I've gained all this creativity, these skills that I needed to learn to create the thing that I want to do. And I get all of that, but I have no direction. Like, I'm the type of person, I just like, I would like some type of direction. And what I would get instead is I would get a lot of confirmations, and it never fails. I would get a lot of confirmations of like, yeah, you're doing the right thing. Or yeah, you did that. That was good to do. And I'm just like, yes, I appreciate that, but I have no idea where what I'm doing or where I'm going. So it's like it's and I was like, it's frustrating because it's just like, imagine that. I, how to even put this into words? I can do this. I can do this. Okay. Imagine that you have this brand new teched out car, right? I'm talking about, it does everything. You name it, it does it. You're in the car and you just feel like, I'm gonna go straight, and you kind of do that, and then you feel like, I feel like I should bust a left, and you busting you just kind of, you're just kind of doing things, and in this process, you know, you're you're getting these, like, let's just say you're getting these notifications of like, let's just say because you decided to go straight, you got these notifications of like, yeah, there was like, you know, an earthquake on the left hand side. Like, if you were to go over there, those people suffered something from an earthquake, and it's like, oh damn, like, okay, that was confirmation. I'm glad I listened to go straight. Then you bust this left, and then you get this notification saying how t- 10 minutes above where you were going, the city got shut down and people can't leave because some shit is going on. And it's just like, oh damn, I'm kind of glad I avoided that. So it's like, you get these confirmations of like, yeah, you did good going left, but it's like, bitch, I have no idea where the fuck I'm going. Now, while this is happening, you're learning that there's so many different features in this car. And you thought, you kind of like, okay, yeah, it has this, but you realize like, if you press this button, the car can drive by itself. Or if you lean back, it automatically starts massaging your back. Like, you're discovering all of these capabilities. You're discovering all these different things in the car, and it's just like, oh shit, I didn't even know that I can do that. But you had this all along, and you're figuring out like, oh, okay, this is how this works. That car is like you, essentially, in like your life. You know what I mean? It's like, you have these things, all this stuff is happening, but like, you're learning like, oh, I didn't even know this was here. And that's like how I feel like I'm navigating my life sometimes. Most all the time, of like, I feel to go left, I feel to go straight. It worked out that we did. And also at the same time, I'm learning that this thing has this. To some people, they may say like, baby, you're blessed. You should be grateful, or what are you complaining about? And it's just like, the lack of direction, I think, fucks me up. And I'm like, I get it from the outside, but on the inside, it's kind of like, I would like to know that I was going to the West Coast, in the States or something like that. And it's like, I would love to know, like, have a destination in mind, but it's like, it is not working that way. But I would say I have the faith now that, since I've been building my faith with, the source, that I'm getting those answers. And I will not lie, some of those answers do make me uncomfortable. Some of them, I'm not even gonna say scary, but it makes me uncomfortable in the sense of like, you ever, like I said, you ever, I'm gonna say it like this: you ever wanted to know something so bad that when you do get the answer, it's kind of like, it's not in the set. And when I say this, the answer is not bad, and it is not horrible. It's not evil. It's just very like, oh, this was made real, and it's like, oh. This is where we're going. And so now a lot of stuff is coming up. And it's like that's kind of like how that relationship is. And it's causing me to really utilize the lessons I've learned and take things slow, reflect, digest. Don't overcompensate. Don't make yourself do this, do that. And I can say and that's like I said this earlier, I can say that I am confident that I can confidently say that I am doing this with the help of others and not by myself. And I realize that for those of you who have been very independent or very solo, you may come to this point in your life where when you have a challenge in one area, you can handle it. But when you have a challenge and there's change happening on all fronts of your life, you can't do it by yourself. And it's good to have people, beings, entities, whatever, to help you with those things while you are getting it figured out with the help of others. And I would say the biggest graduation for me, for someone who's been very independent, has been to learn to lean on others and ask for help. And with this new relationship with the source, it has very much been like, congratulations, you graduated now, because me and you are now connected. You got all the other pieces and it was just me and you, and so now you're good. So I'm gonna leave it at that. That's what's been going on. I may give you guys some more parts, but I wanted to keep it kind of to the point. And yeah. But with that being said, guys, I look forward to speaking with you all next week. And I do really appreciate you guys for taking the time to listen to my content, each time you press play. So thank you for that. And I really look forward to connecting with you guys soon. Later.